This is it. With very few chances left here on the day. 2 games left overall for teams to pick up points. This is the game. This is the game that could lose you the FNCS if you're Queasy, Thomas, Malabuka, and Mustache. If you go down early, it is all over. And it almost looks like Queasy, Thomas, uncontested.
Wow.
Does that help or hurt them?
Huge.
I have to ask you, without Surge on Crimson Noms early on, does that help or hurt them?
This, that's a good question, but I'm going to say it helps them, Jacob, because from going down right off spawn without getting a single point, it could be the deciding factor of your tournament. So now having the freedom to loot off spawn, not worry about taking that engagement. You know how skilled Queasy and Thomas HD are. They're veterans. They know how to get Surge. They are confident mechanically they can make it happen. But for Marius and Sandguild, can they do the same?
I love the cheeky play coming out from Belusi, trying to go up and over. Flowberry, his teammate trying to go up. Marius trying to alleviate the pressure. It's like a shooting range. Sandguild's going to go up. He's going to come down, but he's going to get knocked. Trade comes out. Marius doing enough to get the knock on the Gabix. Belusi trying to drop down low. He cannot clean it up. He cannot be a hero. He ends up with 0 points in this game as Marius and Sandguild stand tall.
Good way to start it off, but for how long will that safety last? You saw another duo coming in. Do they know that they are in the cone is the question. It's Teeny. It's Misha. Yes, they do. Shots come through. Pressure is on.
It's almost gotten personal between these two teams. Teeny, Misha trying to go in and cause destruction, and they do successfully get the eliminations. Marius and Sandguild go back to the lobby with only 1 game left.
Right, this is the second to the last match, game 11. 1 more to be played out after this. Malabuka and Mustache once again having the medallion, mythic loot, and vault uncontested. But there seems to be actually an engagement to the west of them happening. Looks like maybe a new duo has entered the realm of fencing fields. As we take a quick look at the leaderboard. It's close, Jacob. It's close.
Just, when was the last time we see an FNCS this close outside of Major 4? Really coming down to the last 2 games. Vidil, Reason. Reunited has never felt so good. That gives them equal opportunity to try to finally take the fight to Walks and Pixie, in which we've seen them come out on top more times than not throughout this weekend. It almost looks like they're trying to draw the NPC out as well to try to get an easy elimination, being cautious as possible. They don't want to get caught off guard to Walks and Pixie.
Crash pad comes through. They leave as now Peter Griffin NPC will be eliminated here for Vidil and Reason, as it looks like they've secured the benefit now of Snooty Steps.
They're gonna get it all to themselves. See another team just south of Snooty Steps. That's Pixie, that's Walks. They disengaged, and I do believe Vidil and Reason, they don't necessarily chase those eliminations towards the outside. They want to play this one out, especially with only 2 games left. Slowly but surely fell down the leaderboard a little bit farther than they would have hoped. But this is their chance to really pick back up the pace along with Bevy and Pablo. Insane solo clutches by Pablo to start the day off. They just got to be able to find that momentum and really bring it back.
Savage and Mongrel here, taking a bit longer this time around to finish off their off-spawn fight. 4 elims already on Mr. Savage. Where did those come from? That's what's on my mind. Maybe they did finish it off quickly as another snipe. Not able to connect. But there's still so many duos in the area.
In theory, 2 first places would get him 200 points alone. He already has 4 eliminations. That's another 24 points right there.
Okay, you're cooking something here.
I'm just trying to draw up a situation here where Mongrel and Savage have an opportunity, if not to take first place, maybe get a shot at the global championship. feel like anything is possible, but they definitely need to pick it up. Astral and Artsco going for the dive bomb play, coming out from above with the crash pad. Gears not going to fall for that one. He has the grapple blade. He's immediately trying to get on out, and I'm looking all over the minimap. Where's Hari? He's nowhere in sight, so Gears probably by himself, trying to create some distance so that way he has a chance to bring his teammate back.
Yeah, Chari has been eliminated. So Kiras is gonna have the fortunate item of the grapple blade to try and disengage, but do their opponents have it? Will they chase him down? As he's crouched up now, trying to do what he can to be a little sneaky. Even his outfit here kind of matches those crates. So, you know, I probably would pass by it without seeing him, but will Artskill and Astral, sorry, do the same?
Which reminds me of week 1 when we were casting and Cammy was just hiding next to the mountain. That duo just jumped right over him, didn't see him at all, but whole different situation, especially in a POI like Ritzy Riviera. A lot of buildings, a lot of hiding spots, just like you saw. But it's that time. Forcecast Towers now making their appearance. Kido and Kiro get it uncontested this time around. No Pink, no Vico in sight. Hopefully that's going to help their game. 376 points. It is looking good.
Yep. They've secured it alongside that elimination. Who the elimination was on is what I'm wondering. As you can hear them taking more shots. But so far it's kind of up to the next objective now. As iDrop has lost Nebs far in the zone as well. This is a battle that can end up with no victor if it plays out too long. There is that loot from one of the players that got eliminated on the ground, though, that he's going to be able to pick right back up. And it looks like he's not even going to try and take this fight as iDrop continues to escape.
Yeah, with no real HP, iDrop almost has no other option unless he's just hoping that opponent has some med kits or bandages, and that's would be the only real tense to take that fight. So he's trying to go for the high percentage play and bringing his teammate back. As we jump on board, game 4 Victory Royale winners Yanis and Flixie. A little bit more of a trouble here towards Reckless Railways, but this at the same time, you heard the analysts break it down. They thought they were going to be contested, which would help with their surge. Found out they weren't. Now a team moving over there at POI, and this is their chance to really find the surge that they were lacking late in some of our previous games.
iDrop making use of the campfire, getting a little cozy here, but with his teammate down, it's only going to last so long. He needs to find some sort of way to bring him back in the match. Being so far in zone, though, you can assume there's not too many duos close by, if any. So he should be able to pick him up. The harder part is going to be getting back into the game, making it to zone, looting up, getting enough damage to outlive the Storm Surge. That is going to be the true journey for this duo. But for Axe Force and Raban, it looks like they are playing once again around the forecast tower.
Trying to clean it for themselves. Push some other teams off. Reason, Vidil. An opportunity here for eliminations. Looking towards the backside. They're not just focused onto one team. Misses the sniper. Sets his eyes back on the prize, which is Scroll and Sky towards the other side of that. Couple teams stacked up over here towards the shipping station. So they don't want to get too congested in a fight that doesn't really matter too much this early on. Mustache, on the other hand, he's able to take down Kate. Probably not too far off from their drop spot, just north of Fencing Field. Diox is going to be the next target in sight. Malabuka, Mustache using the strength and numbers to try to take him down, but both of them dropped weak. 8 shields disappeared just like that.
The threat becomes a reality as Mustache was cracked. Now Malabuka forced to pop that Flowberry Fizz, healed them back up. Good news is they have the upper hand in terms of players. It's just Diox, and he gets quickly taken out. Now they've picked up those extra eliminations, those extra points, and continue on.
Yeah, it's important because throughout that last game, we saw them kind of forced to interact because of Surge. As Cade left himself just a little too open with the snipers in the game. All they need is just a crack, a crevice to sneak those shots in. And there goes it, happening yet again. We got Veno, we got Thomas, and now we have Mustache just lighting things up with the sniper.
You can see how beneficial it can be to carry a sniper, especially if you can hit your shots. It can truly turn around your tournament. Malabuka and Mustache now, with a good amount of damage, will just continue getting the best position they possibly can. And it looks like based on this structure, this tower, this castle almost that Thomas HD and Queasy have built on the roof of Lavish Lair. You can only assume that they pulled zone, which is correct there. Issue is, though, you said it, Jacob, they weren't contested this time around, so they haven't got that initial damage from the duo that landed around them. They will have to get tags on the players rotating through, and right now the only option for that is Mr. Savage and Mongraal.
Did look like they were eyeing that opportunity, but just like you said, they have zone in their favor. They don't want to do too much, especially if it does pull teams towards the north, even pull teams downward like we saw in that last game. His gear is fine, have a chance here to get his teammate back. Doesn't want to do it too soon because then that draws attention in your direction. At least he was able to find medkits, so it doesn't matter how long he takes at this stage in the game. It's only a 1 tick, so not too much damage being done. And you kind of add in the fact that we've shifted kind of away from the heal-offs in which we were seeing throughout the qualifiers to almost all-out brawls for victories.
Yeah, I think the only kind of heal-off we had was when Queasy was on height by the train tracks today. So it's been very engaging late games here for the grand finals. Yanis Flixie, our game 4 winners. Previous match. Continuing around the Reckless Railways. You can see the players rotating through more up north now as they want to get deeper into the zone. Meanwhile, there's some that have yet to even make it out of the zone.
Oof. As we tune on, Vico just getting sniped. Him and Pink changing up their strategy in game 11. Second to last chance. Instead of early rotating on over to the forecast tower, even fighting Kiro and Kudo for it, they're just trying to play this one out. And on their way there, they're going to find their combat cache. They'll be the first one to it, but they have to be careful. That's Veno. That's Tayson on the other side. And really, the only way Veno and Tayson can make up the point differential is through eliminations and high placing games. And with the aggression that they showed ramping up over the last couple of games, this could be a fight that they're ready to fight to the end.
Yeah, Veno Tayson is not a duo you want to go up against in a combat cache fight, being the players they are. But Pink and Vico as well, incredibly dominant. Issue is there's even more duos, well, just one duo here in the surrounding area that could cause some trouble. So as shots continue, angles get looked for. This could even be one for Veno. He hits one tag, but it's not going to be anything big. The wall of place coming through. All they want is that big pump shot. 58 isn't going to be enough to crack them, but little by little, they get that HP and shield advantage.
And that was a great shot by Vico to kind of answer back onto Veno. He's trying to scrape together all the loot into his box. Not much left. I do see a med kit, but everybody here in the situation is about full HP, except for Pink, who's going to disengage out of this fight. Doesn't want to overstay, even though they're the first one to the cache. Veno, Tayson, immediately interrupting that. And in the distance, Kiro and Kuruo are attempting to third party this. Now it's just going to become them and Veno and Tayson, and it's up to them if they want to try to pounce on top of this while they have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I don't think they know that Kuruo and Kiro are even there. One of them was in a bush, the other crouched up on the previous build, so they should have an opportunity to at least take some shots and do a bit of damage. If it's enough damage to pursue the aggression, though, and go for the eliminations is what we'll have to find out. Reason for deal now.
Uh-oh.
Together, both of them boxed up. This fourth zone is coming to a close.
From 26 points to start this off to 14-point difference. Malibuca and Mustache slowly but surely closing that gap as this game progresses. Still 13 teams need to go down before placement points start to come in for a lot of these teams. So you don't want to spend all this time in the game just to go down without anything to show for it. Volko almost on the receiving end of yet another Mustache snipe. Always threading the needle and having some close calls. Shaco, Skydune, take down Darky and Darkest, send them fully back to the lobby. That's going to be 6th and 7th place out as well on that leaderboard inside of the top 10, which opens up an opportunity for somebody to overtake them here in game 11.
A lot of the duos now on the edge of the zone based up. As 5th zone will appear, and they'll see how much of a rotate they do have to do. It's going to be Pablo Bevies, though, a little bit further down below. And as the zone does pull more up north, These dealers have to start planning their rotate. Do we let the teams in front of us rotate first? Do we use any of the mobility items we can? Maybe a combination of a crash pad flowberry, maybe just the grapple blade, or even just walking down below as everybody kind of flies through the skies. There's a lot of options. Bevies and Pablos, though, are just going to use the grapple blade.
We got one reboot going off into the distance. Let's say, what can he get? Another med kit coming out. Here he's just trying to give himself a fair shot. But my question is, does he even have the reboot card? Because there was a few chances there he could have ran back to some reboots and get it. But a nice snipe. Lands and connects on the arc, leaving his duo all by himself. Now a solo, but he's trying to go ahead and get aggressive. Avenge his teammate. Shot's going to get fired through. 50 shield gone just like that. Space is green created by Gears and his opponent, especially because those third-party shots are now beginning to come in and float in their direction.
One bullet in the chamber is all Giras had until he secured that elimination. Now 6 more opportunities with that refresh. Even 96 above Surge. That is the shot he needed to hit to continue going forwards. But as he's been cracked, he's going to be forced to once again stay in zone. And on the contrary, Merstash has been eliminated as well. Malabuka left as a solo. Pressure is on as he knocks down one. The 1 versus 1, but the third party's continuing to take shots.
Yeah, Chexy's still moving his way in. Other players as well. I got Volko on the other side. He found a little crevice underneath the water, still trying to hold on to his position, play defensive, but he's running out of builds. 521 above the damage threshold. Volko and Vortexers come in, and they cause a huge distraction to find both of those eliminations, possibly saving the day for Malabuka. They have an opportunity here to continue to go on the hunt. This is a big decision here for Volko and Vortexers that has so many different implications to the leaderboard.
Inside of the storm, it makes this scenario 10 times more difficult as Malabuka is still up somehow. He has recuperated his materials. Now that he knows the duo has left, he can pop that Flowberry Fizz for the shield. One more med kit left to keep him up, but such a ways away from the zone. 3 med kits actually, as he's found some from the ground. Malabuka, you've got to repeat what we saw from the semifinals.
Say he's doing the math there, thinking if he can go to the backside of zone and get the reboot. He's checking if anybody else is slowly rotating in. Malabuka's going to try to go for a repeat. As you see a replay, 172 below the damage threshold. Prism knocked on the wrong door. There is no treats in that house, only tricks, but it backfires there momentarily. Bevies goes down. Cammy goes in. Him and Seti are poised to have a good comeback here on the day.
Lucas made it back in. He has used one of the rifts from the Rift Island, as he still wants to recuperate that shield and HP. He has enough consumables in his inventory, but you can see at the mini-map, looks like a whole army of players now flying on in, trying to mark, you know, where do we land? Do we go on top of the builds? We don't want to land in the same place as the other players. Stay away from the action is what Malabuka's thinking, being 471 above as Nebs now stops. And potentially gonna look for a shot, but Malabuka so far, just one more shield left. If he ends up getting cracked, the focus is on him. He cannot let that happen.
Yeah, the 50-50 opened up. This is the same scenario he was in when he qualified to the FNCS Grand Finals, looking for a repeat opportunity. Gears was unable to get Hari's reboot card, so he's been playing this one out as a solo with no real choice in the matter, and now he's 90 below the damage threshold. This is going to be a sticky situation for him to try to survive, especially if he becomes the target of a lobby just like that.
He hit a headshot snipe earlier on with just 1 bullet in the chamber. Now it's 6 opportunities, 6 options. He needs to make it happen once again. Forced to pop the big pot to tank a little bit of the storm surge. As the clock's ticking, the lightning striking, he needs to find an opening. Sniper in hand, he cannot find anything. Giras, please, just 1 shot is all it takes.
Nobody's really peeking. There's no opportunities. He actually gets shot up from across. Storm Surge, he can only take 1 more tick, and nobody even peeks. He's gonna go down, and it's actually Cammy, I believe, that got credit for that elimination. 6 more points for Seti and Cammy. Slowly but surely crawling out from the depths of the bottom of the leaderboard. Reason, Vidil below Storm Surge themselves, but they have the Flowberry Fizz. All of it's going to be used for the most part to try to heal themselves up and get out of zone. They still have a rotation to make. Everything is kind of stacking up against Reason and Vidil in a situation like this, but he finds a duo trying to rotate themselves. Well-placed shot, but not enough still to get above the threshold.
Currently in that third place spot. Malabuka is also playing as a solo. Issue is the first place duo, Queasy and Thomas, still both looking healthy. As Reason has lost his duo partner, the deal is down. 28 HP for Reason, no medkits. 13 now, just one shot in the sniper rifle, and he needs that impact.
Yeah, still below. Finally able to get above, but the ping pong is there. It shows how much damage is being dished around the lobby. Malabuka, he's above the threshold, but just a sliver of HP, no shields to regain. Storm is pushing him in as well. There's only so much of that medkit he could actually use.
Takes shots, but Reason goes down. It's Queasy as well. It looks like he's been knocked as Malabuka left as a solo. Thomas HD left as a solo. All our top 3 duos as solos.
Thomas, he's able to pick up big, and he goes down. Thomas goes down. Malabuka's chance. At one point or another, we saw it was a 14-point differential between Malabuka Mustache, Queasy, and Thomas. The foot race will continue, but it all matters here. How many placings Malabuka is actually able to pick up? About 2, maybe even 3 more. He will overtake that first place spot, and from there, it's all bonus.
The last player in the top 3 that is up. Every point is gold for Malabuka, as Bennu and Tayson only 11 above, already taken damage from Storm Surge. They have that medallion to recuperate a bit of shield, but with both players being extremely low, just one shot away from getting knocked or even eliminated. They have to keep moving forwards. Tayson's down. Bennu another solo. All the top players are going down.
I love the attempt coming out. If you're gonna swing, you better swing big. He gets taken down altogether trying to fight Kiro and Kudo on the high ground. We're going up this mountain, and then this next zone pulls, we're going down it as well. Malabuka playing this one near perfectly, trying to stay alive with just 20 HP, but I might have cursed him. With only 3 or 4 placings of differential, I'm not even sure Malabuka was able to take first.
Moni, Lunex, we'll have to find out, as now it's a game for the top half of the leaderboard. These players that on the midsection have a brand new bright opportunity to make themselves new crowned leaders. Kiro Kiduo are going to be the ones on height. 4 elims on the board. With this type of zone as well, they should be able to hold on.
Just trying to figure out who's next in line on that leaderboard, just kind of move up. But a lot of our top competitors going down early in this game in terms of the amount of placement points they can actually grab. 404 for Vico and Pink. This is a shot for them to move up the leaderboards for sure. Plenty of points still on the board. 209 above the threshold. And they have some elevation, but Vico's looking down at Pink. How can he help his teammate out? And he realizes he can no longer be the hero to this duo. He's going to be stuck by himself now as a solo.
800 materials though, 75 builds. He has more than enough to stay up. He has the damage. No risks are needed for Vico currently, but he could use those eliminations on the players rotating through. Kiduo, Kiro continuing to drop down now, all the way in the clouds, as Mongrel Savage still up. I drop as well as a solo, 359 above.
This is a solo nightmare for a lot of these players that are trying to use the second to last opportunity to burst up the leaderboard and give themselves a fighting shot for that first place, or maybe even a global championship spot, top 2 at the bare minimum. Cringe, you can see him over on the other side. It looks like switching away from Lavish Layer was a great play for them, because now they've made it to the end game.
Moni, Lunex, 4 on the board, about to grapple blade. Down below, you got to be careful though. It's the same plan as a lot of these other duos. You don't want to get mixed up in an opponent's box as they quickly change layers now. A bit safer, but the pressure from above will come through. It's the height team taking shots. They don't want anybody overtaking them, so they're going to keep applying that pressure to the duos close by.
And we're going up the mountain yet again. A lot of players going through a roller coaster of emotions, almost figuratively and literally, as Vico, somebody's knocking at the box on the low side. Shaco's and Aaron going ahead and battling it out between each other. Shaco is going to be the one that gets dropped down. iDrop continuing to move forward as a solo and somehow finds an elimination onto Roban, giving them 6 more points. Crucial points here at a moment like this.
20 HP, 20 builds, not much to work with for iDrop. All he needs to do now is find that solo, find that potential, impact elimination, but it's a duo close by. You got to pick your fight correctly here, iDrop. So many healthy duos, but also so many solos in shambles. He has to find the correct one. It's Lunix above, still staying at the edge of the zone. Hits the first shots. It's a crack onto his opponents, but he goes down.
The majority of the lobby is just running around as solos here. About 5 of them to be exact, Vico being one of them. Without builds, he's kind of forcing himself lower and lower, especially with the zone moving down that mountain. A little bit of a blessing in disguise as Mongraal finally goes down. 6 eliminations for him and Savage, and an end game has been achieved. Definitely enough points to move up the leaderboard a few spaces, but not where they would hope.
Lunix now left alone. Kiro still up above, taking shots. They don't want anybody getting close to them. Do they have medkits to hold it off? Do they even need it? As Sinet and Vaniac pick up one more. It's Vico now, though, looking to secure another elimination.
Just finds those refresh materials. Not a ton, but at least it's something for Vico to use on the low ground. Vasquez there as well. Vaniac and Sinet, one of the only duos still left alive other than Kiro and Kuduo on the high ground. So it's a duo's dream here, moving through all these solos. Vico missed opportunity as Vasquez is able to bounce around and get out alive.
4 still on the board for Vico. No materials, though. He has 5 bandages, but it's not going to be as powerful as medkits. He needs to make something happen. Kiro dropped below to cause disruption on the low ground, leaving Kiduo up top, but with no medkits, he's going to have to go for an elimination.
Yeah, and you see Artskill already starting that heal off towards the backside of the zone. He might be able to take it if he has a few medkits, because this is going to come down to a fight. Sinet, Vasquez, Kiduo, all 3 players still battling it out as solos here towards the front side of the zone. Artskill, he's able to at least get one more placing point forward. Zephyrd, the final battle's going out. Sinet versus Kiduo, and the heal off doesn't last towards the outside of the zone, but he stole together a couple of more placements before the game was finally stolen away.
Played perfectly with what they had. Kiduo quickly realizing he had no medkit. He had to go against that last player standing on the low ground, but knowing that he wasn't using a medkit, knowing that he most likely had more HP at 90, he took his time, he took his shots, and he took the victory royale.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing. Realizing the situation that you're in and making the most of it. Having the high ground, well-placed snipes from below, and even battling back to hold on to their position. Well-placed shot. That's how we saw Savage go down. Mongraal fell shortly after. These guys are picking up the pace at the perfect moment, Takada.
Blessed zone as well for the duo, being so high up in the clouds for the difficult roller coaster of a zone of the players who are rotating through the hill, the icy, slippery slope down below. Kiduo finished it off strong.
And you got to imagine where it started. The biggest change up from day one and